magic moments when two hearts are paired. Magic moments, memories we can share.
Mother! Oh dear, church over early, was it?
I haven't been.
You haven't been? Where's our Nigel then?
He's not coming.
Not coming? What, has he been took poorly?
No, Mother, he's not poorly.
Well, what is he then if he's not poorly?
I've left him.
Left him?
I've left him, Mother.
What do you mean, left him?
It's too terrible to talk about.
Left him?
Yes, Mother, left him.
What's he done to you? What's he done to you, love? Tell your mother now, what's he done?
He's done it across me.
Done it across you? You don't mean...
I do.
No, not Nigel.
He's a dirty beast, Mother.
Never. Nigel a dirty beast?
He's been with another woman.
No.
I tell you, he has.
Well, I don't know. Nigel of all people. Who is she?
Mother, it's too disgusting.
What's her name?
I don't like shaping the word with my lips.
Not one of them. He hasn't been with one of them.
She was a woman of the street, only in a house.
Where?
London.
London?
He went down there yesterday for the cup final.
Cup
He
final?
went with Tommy Hickerton.
Not the Tommy Hickerton who lives down by the garage opposite the bridge.
That's right.
The school teacher.
I thought my Nigel would be safe with a school teacher.
Don't say any more. Don't say any more. I want your father to hear every word. Father, can you hear me? If I shout, can you hear me? Come up here quick. I don't care if you're getting your steam up. Just come up here. What about? It's Apple. She's...
Neighbour's mother.
You're right. Just come up here. There now, love. There. Sit down. Shall I get you a cup of tea? Well, how do you know he's been misbehaving himself?
He told me.
He told you? Are you sure he wasn't joking or anything?
No.
It's most unlike Nigel, I must say. Here, Apple, perhaps he was boasting. Don't take on, Apple, love. Try to be brave. Me and your father will sort it out. Don't you worry.
What's all the panic about? What's up with her?
Something delicate's happened to her, Dad. Something very delicate. Tell him, Apple.
I can't, Mother.
What is it?
Her Nigel's been unfaithful.
He's what?
He's misbehaved himself.
Nigel misbehaved himself. You're not having me on, are you?
I wish I was, Dad. Tell him, Apple.
He's been with one of them women, Dad.
One of what women?
She's just told you.
You don't mean that. No. No, never. Not Nigel. No, never. Not him.
It's right, Dad.
Has she told you how it happened?
She said it was in London. She said that he went down for the cup final with Tommy Hickerton.
Tommy Hickerton?
Nigel didn't want to go at first. He's not the sporting type, as you know. But I forced him. I said he hung about the house too much, that he ought to have an outside interest. Outside interest, oh, Mother!
Now then, I'll rule less of the fairy fountains. Let's have it in perspective, shall we?
Yes, let's hear what Nigel said.
What did he say to you?
He said after the match was over, Tommy Hickerton thought the M1 would be crowded. And you know he's a bit nervous at the M1, is Nigel?
Well,
Well, Tommy Hickerton thought it would be better if they went and had a snack somewhere. So he took my Nigel down to Leicester Square.
oh, he did he? And they ended up in one of those streets round the back, did they?
That's right, Dad.
That's where it all takes place, Mother.
How do you know, Dad?
I read the paper, don't I? Go on, love.
Well, they had some sandwiches and some beer, and you know he can't stand strong drink.
Oh, he goes all dopey. He's had half a shandy.
Anyway, Nigel says they were trying to find where they parked the car when Tommy Hickerton was lured up some stairs by a woman in a doorway.
Go on, and what did Nigel do?
Well, what did he do?
Yes, love, what did he do?
He followed.
Followed?
Yes, Mum, followed.
Go on, Apple, what happened next?
Well, Nigel went up these stairs, and there was another woman at the top, and Tommy Hickerton went into a room with one, and Nigel followed suit with the other.
He did. And then what happened?
What happened?
Yes, love, what happened?
He succumbed.
What do you mean by succumb?
What do you think she means by succumb?
So he succumbed, did he?
Yes, Mum.
Well, that's that then. If he succumbed, he succumbed.
Wait till I get my hands on him. I'll blinking succumb him.
When I woke up this morning, I found him all stretched out on the divanette in our through lounge. I said, what's been keeping my little Nigel awake from slumberland? and then he came out with it. He couldn't get into bed with me because he was all guilt-ridden.
The poor love, the poor little love. It's hard for you now, Apple, but wait till you've gone through the making up of it.
Have him on his knees, Apple. Have him licking the carpet.
Lead him a dance. After all, you're entitled. There'll be chocolates, flowers, a new fur coat, anything you fancy.
It could be most rewarding, Mother, most rewarding.
Just think about what you want, Apple. Is there anything you want to help you through your grief? Anything special you want?
Yes, Mum, I want...
Yes, Apple? Yes?
I want...
Well?
I want to divorce him.
Divorce him? No, she doesn't mean it, Mother.
Of course she doesn't.
Get her a cup of tea and she'll get over it.
You needn't bother. I know what I'm saying. I want to divorce him.
It's the shock, that's it.
A terrible shock.
I want to divorce him.
Keep calm. The neighbours can hear you.
I don't care about the neighbours. I want to divorce him.
She's overcome. The poor girl's overcome.
I'll shut the window. The sound carries.
It's a terrible blow for a young girl. We understand that too. But you don't need to talk about divorce.
Say what you like now. Just don't raise your voice.
We've got to treat her gently, Dad. It's been all these tender years of marital bliss for her up till now. It's been a rude awakening for her.
Yes, very rude. I'm not disputing it. But only keep your voices low, will you?
I'm going to divorce him.
There. That's better, love. That's better.
That's right, Apple. You found your self-control. You've got to have self-control, whatever the emergency. Haven't you, Dad?
You're right, love. You have.
How long will it take to get my freedom? The filthy beast.
Now then, Avril, let's view it dignified, shall we?
Yes, we mustn't cheapen ourselves, whatever happens.
Seemliness. That's what's called for.
He's made a slip and he must suffer. It's only right. But you don't need to talk about divorce, Apple.
It's got a stigma, her divorce. A very nasty stigma.
People are all too ready to cast slurs on you, you know. There'd be a lot of slurs being cast for all of us.
We built up ourselves a good name in this district. She mustn't forget that.
Think about the family, love. You don't want to drag your father's nose through the mire, do you?
I don't want to stress the point, Avril, but it could lead to repercussions for me, business-wise.
But I'm the innocent party, Dad.
Yes, she's the innocent party, Dad. We mustn't forget that.
Yes, but there's no smoke without fire, remember?
Quite right, Dad. Quite right. But I was thinking if we could get him with cruelty on top, it might not turn out so slurry as you think. There'd be a lot of sympathy flying in our direction for adultery with cruelty on top. Do you think we could get him for cruelty on top?
It's too wet, Mother. It wouldn't hold water.
Mother, you're talking through your hat.
What?
She doesn't want to get divorced.
Voice, Dad. Voice.
She doesn't want to get divorced.
I do.
You don't.
I do.
Stop barging in while I'm talking to your mother.
I don't see why she shouldn't, not if there's cruelty on top.
Look, Mother, let's see this as it should be seen, shall we? Our Avril is one of the most envied young ladies in the neighbourhood. Am I right or aren't I?
Well, yes. Nigel's uncle does own the button factory, after all.
Exactly. And don't forget, he's got the belt buckle and zip fastener subsidiaries as well. Nigel's in direct line for all that.
But Dad...
Shut your mouth a minute. Think of all the sacrifices we made to get to United to form the Hadfields. And Nigel isn't any common or garden Hadfield. He's the chief Hadfield hope, as you might say.
But Dad...
Shut up! Divorce him. She must be out of her mind. Think of all the money we wasted on her when we knew he was interested in her. Posh hairdressers down the high street twice a week. Evening dresses, tennis rackets. And what about your riding habits?
But Dad...
I'm talking. I've told you. You might want to destroy your life, but don't try and destroy mine. Nigel's uncle is a member of the council, isn't he? Who do you think is going to get the insurance on the municipal development that's going up? Aren't who's going to get it? Me, acting on behalf of the Sunlight Insurance. I should be the regional officer of that, Mother.
But Dad!
What do you keep dadding about?
Nigel's uncle might not stay in the council.
I'm not saying the council. Nigel's uncle. He'll be there till he gets his OBE. What do you think he's him otherwise?
He's got a mistress.
He's got a mistress. Everybody knows he's got a mistress. He's a very rich man. He's entitled to a mistress.
Once you get high enough, such things don't matter. It's a different way of life, see?
That's right, Mother. He's above it all.
But it's not his old mistress. It's a new mistress.
Well, it's an accepted fact he likes to change from time to time.
But she's a factory girl. A Miss Daphne Dunmore. He found her in his own work. In his zip fastener extension.
In his what?
In his zip fastener extension. She works on zip fasteners, Mom.
Not so much stomach, Miss Avril. Titled ladies have been made out of lead.
That's right, he's going to marry her.
Here's what?
Marry her? Don't be silly, Avril. Nigel's uncle wouldn't lower himself to marry a factory girl.
He would, Mom, because he's put her in a family way.
Put her in a family way.
Yes, Dad!
What, without consulting anybody?
You know what this means, don't you, Dad?
I know what it means, all right. I can hardly get my breath back.
Nigel will be cut off.
clean cut off.
If we'd have known this would have happened, we would have never let you marry him. Never.
This is what I'm saying. I want to unmarry him now.
Unmarry him?
She's got a point. Our Avril has got a point.
Oh, no, Dad, I don't like divorce, not unless there's cruelty on top.
But I'm the innocent party, Dad.
I know, love, I know, but there's still a tinge of dishonour about it, to my mind.
Now, Mother, let's have some common sense and balance. It doesn't matter so much about dishonour, as long as the money's all right.
Money? But he's being cut off.
Yes, I'm taking that into consideration. Now, as I see, our Avril can go on living with him as he is now. And what is he as he stands today? The half-bred son of an income tax collector. That's all. Or she can demand what's due to her and, to call a spade, look elsewhere.
It won't be too late, Avril. You've still got a lot of bloom on you.
Dad,
Yes, love.
what do you think my dues are?
Your dues. Well, you get your alimony, no question about that. But I think if we play our cards right, you'll get possession of the bungalow.
The bungalow.
Oh, no, Dad, I don't think she'll be as lucky as that.
What do you mean, Mother? The uncle gave it to the pair of them as a wedding present, didn't he? So Avril's already got half of it before she starts claiming.
It's a lovely bungalow, Avril. You made it so homely.
Well, what's she going to do then?
How do you mean, Dad?
Haven't you been listening? I've been trying to give an unbiased, unprejudiced, two-sided view of the situation, haven't I? Does she divorce him or doesn't she?
Well, I didn't understand about the bungalow. I mean, if she's going to get the bungalow without claiming, I don't see the point in holding on. Talk or no talk. And she is the innocent party after all.
Well, that's that then.
I can divorce him then, can I?
You've got your parents' blessing, dear.
Oh, Mother.
But now,
I love my parents. They're so sympathetic and understanding. Oh, Mum. I'd like to kiss you, Dad. I'm all worked up and excited for the big day now. Silly of me.
what day?
The day of my release, of course.
Oh, there'll be a terrible lot of preparations before then.
I think I'll settle for a nice, quiet divorce.
It will all be done properly, don't you worry.
It's lovely to have something to look forward to. I feel so much better. Mum, do you know I could have a swim in your kitchen and put my face on?
You do, love, you do. She mustn't go on living under the same roof as him now. Not on no account.
Of course she mustn't.
If he claims he started up his marital rights again, she won't have a leg to stand on.
Avril!
Just coming, Dad.
Your Nigel's here with his mother.
What for?
To get you back, of course. Now remember, you're staying here.
I am?
Naturally. One false move with your physical side now, and you'll land yourself up the creek with him for life. Have you got that?
Yes, Dad.
Very well. Mother! Now remember, leave it all up to me, and don't forget to pro tem your very subjudice.
What does that mean?
It means at all costs, keep your trap shut.
I expect you already know the reason for our visit.
Well, we certainly know the reason for Nigel's visit. We're not so sure about yours, Mrs. Hatfield.
Mrs. Midway, my son came round this morning and requested me to accompany him. Isn't that so, Nigel?
Definitely.
Knowing the house he was going to call upon, I think he felt like he might like a witness. I told him it was a very silly idea to have, but he did force me along, didn't you, Nigel?
Definitely.
Won't you have a seat, Mrs. Hatfield?
Thank you. Well now, I hear our two children have had a little contretemps together. Young married people do have their little contretemps from time to time. What do you say, Avril?
Look, Mrs. Hadley.
Well, Avril?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Hatfield, but our Avril's too full for words at the moment.
Yes, she's been bowled over by this shop.
It's been most distressing. She couldn't bring herself to tell us. We had to drag the facts out of her.
We're not used to that kitchen sink behaviour, not in our family.
Now, Mother, it's not up to us to say things like that. It's up to us to set the tone and feel as dignified as possible, circumstances being what they are.
I think the matter can easily be settled by leaving the young people alone together.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Hatfield, but I don't think we could convince our Avril to be left alone with your Nigel, not after this morning's revelations.
But Nigel has something to say to her.
Well, he can say it here, can't he?
You'd better say it, Nigel.
What? Here, Mother?
Yes, Nigel, here.
Now, Mother?
Yes, now.
Avril my wife. I behave as the most corrupt, depraved, and degenerate beast. I do not deny that after the cup tie, for one deeply regrettable and most humiliating moment, I allowed my blood to run riot, and my flesh to take the wrong turning. However, I swear to you, Avril, I shall remember the incident for the rest of my life.
With shame.
Yes, mother, with shame.
Go on then, Nigel.
Speak
up!
It was an experience that taking it by and large, I assure you, is a lesson.
Say you're sorry.
What?
You're sorry.
Yes, I'm truly sorry, Avril. If only you'll come back to me, I think you'll find I shall forever be at your service. What do you say then, Avril?
Yes, what do you say, Avril?
Say what's on your mind, Avril.
Well, Avril, what have you decided to say?
I want to divorce him.
Divorce him?
Yes, Mrs. Hadfield, for misconducting.
But you can't.
Why not?
But you can't. You simply can't. Not divorce. Not in these circumstances. I mean, if his affections had regularly taken elsewhere perhaps, but one single evening with a member of the frail sisterhood.
Mother, it was only 20 minutes, and she was
To be quiet, Nigel. Avril, if you really feel you can't hear, then I suggest the only proper course is for us to arrange a nice, quiet case of desertion.
You have to wait for a desertion, don't you?
It's only a matter of 3 short years.
3 short years. Mother, I can't do that. I might have lost my bloom by then.
Can't be expected of you, Garvey. Can't be expected of you.
I do hope, Mrs. Midway, you realise the implications if she refuses.
What implications, Mrs. Hadfield?
What implications? I'm sure you've considered them, Mr. Midway.
I weighed them up, yes.
Then you'll realise there'll be some nasty aspersions cast at your daughter, even if she is the innocent party.
Aspersions? I don't think there'll be any aspersions, Mrs. Hadfield.
I assure you she won't get away with it lightly. Not if she's going to play this kind of game. I'll see to that.
Now then, Mrs. Hadfield, there's no need to be vindictive.
I expect she's out to drain our family of every penny. Oh, you don't think I'm stupid, do you? Guess it put her up to it.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, you know what I mean.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I can't get over it. Here's my daughter, the picture of radiant innocence. Deceived by your son, a gay Lothario over there. And all you can do is add insinuations and threats on top.
And their threats I'll carry out. You needn't worry about that. Let me remind you of a certain amount of influence in our family.
Well, now his uncle's cut him off.
Did you tell her your uncle had cut you off?
Well, Mother, I did mention it.
Oh! Oh.
What's wrong then?
What's wrong? We know now. We understand it all now. So the Midway family's up to its tricks again, is it?
If you take my advice, Mrs. Hadfield, you count to 10. Slowly, lad. Slander can be a very grave issue, and there are witnesses.
There's no slander in what I'm going to say. This family, this ragtag and bobtail family of nobodies, appears from nowhere and worms its way to the very cream of Downley Hall society. And how? By taking advantage of the kindness, integrity, and high-mindedness of my son Nigel. Isn't that so, Nigel?
Definitely, most definitely.
Now look here, Mrs. Hadfield.
How did she get to marry him in the first place? I'll tell you how. She robbed my Nigel of his innocence, put him in a compromising position, and then threatened to sue him for breach of promise.
Have you quite finished, Mrs. Hadfield?
No, I have not quite finished. Having used every means to exploit the Hadfield family, you now learn that my son might not have the financial expectations you've been hoping for. That's what this stupid divorce is about. Nothing more nor less.
So that's all it's about, is it? Well, I think you'll change your mind when you read the headlines. Young husband spends night in Soho brothel.
Very well. You are forcing me to reveal something it would be best to keep secret.
Now then, Mrs. Hadfield, don't try and bluff me.
I promise my dear husband I'd only mention it in an emergency.
Mention what?
I think it'd be best to discuss it in front of few people as possible. Nigel, go to the car and stay there.
Certainly, Mother.
I shall join you in a moment.
Here, what is this?
If you wish to hear what I have to say, then I think your daughter had better retire too.
Mother, take Avril to our kitchen dinette.
Avril!
Well?
My dear husband had recently encountered certain information while examining the return forms at the Inland Revenue.
There's nothing wrong with my income tax. He can say what he likes. I've got the best accountant in the district.
Your return form isn't in question, Mr. Midway. No. Statement of someone else's. Someone very close to you.
Someone close to me. Now what are you getting at? What is this, blackmail? You tell your dear husband from me that whatever is discovered on income tax forms, he'd better keep his mouth shut about it. Or else your dear husband will soon be down to Social Security.
You needn't be worried on his behalf, Mr. Midway. No, I'm sure he'll soon get another appointment elsewhere. You see, people will be very sympathetic when he tells them he only revealed certain personal information to save your family from a case of bigamy.
Huh?
I wonder if you'd care to ask your daughter Eileen's boyfriend, Robert, isn't it, how his wife's getting along.
Why?
I expect Eileen knows all about his little difficulties. After all, she just spent a week at the seaside with him, hasn't she? Oh yes, he's got a wife, and he makes her a very generous allowance too, according to his income tax form. Of course, if you persist with this stupid attack upon my son, then it will be our painful duty to inform Robert's wife of his adultery and indicate your daughter Eileen as a co-respondent. Well, I hope all of this hasn't made us late for church. Nigel and I will return after the service to collect Avril, so you've got a little over an hour to make her see reason.
Just a minute, Mrs. Hatfield.
Yes, what is it? We shall make Avril's apologies to the vicar naturally. Well,
I just hope it's a nice sermon.
thank you. Don't worry. Shall be back.
Mom! Avril? Oh, Avril, my little one. I've just phoned Miss Makepeace and told him of your marital rift.
What?
He told me to come right over
Nigel's uncle's coming here.
to try and seal the rift.
You mean he'll put Nigel back in the will?
More than likely. But I say to myself, surely there's a moral issue here. I can't have my daughter return to him just for the money.
I wouldn't mind.
Nonsense! That man is behaved like a dirty beast. Think of that.
Well, as a matter of fact, Dad, I have been thinking about it.
You have.
I think Nigel might have certain depths he's never quite tapped. Well, not with me, anyway.
Well, yes, he's got those all right.
Do you think he might be a late developer or something? Father, if I went back to him, what should be my approach?
Details like that are not for me to say.
What, not even a little hint? Well,
I should buy yourself a sound practical correspondence course on the subject.
who's that?
Keep away from the window. It's probably Mr. Makepeace. You should make yourself scarce in the kitchen dinette.
I'm sick of the kitchen diner.
Yes, so am I, but get in there. Oh, it's you.
Mother sent me ahead in the car to come and collect Avril. She says there won't be any difficulty about it.
Indeed.
Mother says she's no wish to cross your threshold, or even communicate with this family again unless she's forced to. And Avril and I have to shake the dust from our feet too.
Citing scriptures for her purpose, not the first by no means.
She's coming this way, and she says there'll be Halifax to pay unless I don't have Avril back by the time she gets it.
How long will that take? 10 minutes?
About that.
Right. I've got some good news for you. I've been in touch with your uncle.
My uncle?
A wonderful, generous, kindly man, your uncle. Think of all he's given to Dowdy Hall. A new church tower, 2 public lavatories, and the Garden of Rest. And he's still keeping waiting for his OBE. There's no justice. Well, I told him that being cut out of the will was such a shock to a nephew's heart that it led to a dire fortune and present misfortune.
You know, I never thought of making up anything like that.
Well, I have. He's coming here.
Coming around here? My uncle? Do you think he might put me back in the will?
Most likely, most likely.
Oh, I must go and tell Mother.
Wait. Shouldn't you break the news to your wife first?
You mean Avril will be coming back to me?
A word of advice before you see her. Have you ever tried to understand our Avril? Or even a woman for that matter, with all the complications and mysteries?
Well, I must admit, I did once look at some diagrams.
No, I'm talking about her heart, a woman's mental makeup.
Oh,
Do you realize how Avril must feel when she knows that your rich, virile, authentic, savage passion has been denied her? That you've actually spent it elsewhere?
oh.
What heart searching she must have of her own deficiency. What frustration, what inferiority. You must gird up your loins, my son. Go to her and give her the reassurance she needs. She's there. Waiting. In the kitchen dinette. Need I say more?
You mean I ought to tell her the truth?
The truth. That's a most suspicious word, the truth. Here, come back. Old Justin Pilot wants another word with you. There's something else on your mind, isn't there, Nigel?
Well, yes.
You can tell your dear father-in-law he can bear all.
Well, when I went into this room in London with this woman,
Yes, the room in London with the woman.
nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
I suddenly felt wicked and frightened inside. And between you and me, I wasn't quite feeling up to it in any case.
You what?
I paid her the money and waited till Tommy Hickton had lady next door.
Well, why haven't you told Avril then?
I was going to, but I got as far as I climbed to the top of the stairs, then I blushed. Avril jumped to conclusions and bolted out of the house. I haven't seen her alone since then.
Well, why haven't you told Mrs. Hadfield then?
I say, Mr. Midway, it's not quite the kind of thing a fellow discusses with his mother.
So because you blushed, we've had all this blotted havoc on a Sunday morning, have we?
I'm sorry if I've caused any inconvenience. I'm sure if I go and tell Avril the truth now, everything will be nicely cleared up.
Wait. Not so fast. Not so fast.
What is it?
My daughter's in there, waiting for the Don Juan, the Mr. Hyde to appear. And here you are, acting like the Bowdlerized version of the Virgin's Lament. Sit down.
What, again?
Again. Do you realise my daughter's in there, all wound up, ready to meet the challenge of your newfound, hot-blooded, voluptuous dimension? Imagine her disappointment and disillusionment if all she can find you can offer is your old, lymphatic self. It's enough to give the poor child a case of the neurotic habdabs.
You mean she'll scream?
Exactly.
I can't bear it when she screams.
Neither can I. There's only one thing we can do.
What's that then?
You've established yourself as a dirty beast. You'd better remain a dirty beast.
You think so?
I'm sure of it, lad. It's to avoid any more complications.